I have an answer to this question. Hit that publish button.
YouTube Shorts is another platform in the same app.
It's just, the word is sacrifice. That's all there is to it. Hey, welcome to the only podcast that's incredibly international every single episode, because we got 3 hosts from 3 different countries simultaneously. We're the only podcast in the world that can do that. I am your host, Travis, as I am every single week, and I can't wait to introduce you to someone new. But first, I'm going to bring you back someone old. That's Rob Wilson. How you doing, Rob?
Someone old?
Yes, you're old.
Hey, Travis, I have a question for you. Given that our stingers are so amazing and yet also older than myself, do you think they're going to get entered into the Smithsonian Institute at some point? You know, like where they preserve like films of important cultural heritage, like Jaws and Indiana Jones or whatever. Like, I'm hoping that our VidIQ stingers are going to end up in the same place.
They could. However, at this point, people haven't heard them in months. So,
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, because they get edited out, so people don't even know what you're talking about. Anyway,
well, editor, they're going to put that in now, just so that all makes sense. Finger snap.
Welcome to Tube Talk.
Oh, all right. Well, there, I like that because we do get edited. All right, and our next host is a brand new person here at VidIQ, Prags. How you doing, Prags?
Hey, Travis. Hi, Rob. Thank you so much for having me. I'm doing great.
Nice.
Yeah.
So for people who don't know, Prags is the host now of the new VidIQ India channel, which we just launched very recently. She is the face and the personality of that channel. Prags, tell us a little bit about yourself, just so people can know who you are and people can start to love you like they love us.
Wow. Thanks, Travis. So, hi, everybody. My name is Pragya. I am the host for VidIQ India channel. So make sure you subscribe to the channel because there's some cool stuff coming up on your way in Hindi. So hi, Hindi people. Yeah, I'm a video producer by profession, and I've done some cool marketing jobs in India. I started as a travel content creator back in 2022. And yeah, that's how my love for video making started. And I love talking to the camera. And I'm here. That's about me.
It's pretty funny that you describe yourself as a video professional, because I certainly haven't ever professed myself as that. I'm just like a guy talking to a camera, and hopefully people watch.
It's funny. Prags and I talked before you got on. We were talking about this exact thing, how you never give yourself enough credit. It's very interesting how people see you versus how you see yourself. And I think that's true for a lot of YouTube creators too.
Yeah, I guess so. I tell you why I think I'm very humble and don't think much of myself. It's because for an hour, what I will do, Travis, is record audio replies to comments. You know, you can do that now.
I forgot about that.
So yeah, you can do audio replies, and then after an hour, when you see somebody comment back and they say, "I didn't hear anything," and then realize for the last hour you've just been recording silence to 20 people. That's what keeps me humble, and that's what I did yesterday.
And you can only do that on mobile, right? Of audio replies.
Yeah.
That's why I don't see it, because I do most of my stuff on desktop.
I checked back on my computer and it said, "Cannot transcribe this message." I'm thinking, what? And I go to the message itself and I press it, and it's just brilliant.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So the thing is that if you're watching this on YouTube, you're probably noticing, depending on what channel you're watching from, that you maybe either are not familiar with Prags, but because you're seeing this on the main channel, or you are familiar with Prags, but you've never seen me before because you're seeing it on the Indian channel. So we're doing the collab feature across 3 channels. We've done the collab feature before, and I want to explain why we're doing it this time, and then also some of the things that we've learned over the last couple of months. First of all, there's an excellent video by Rob on the main VidIQ channel that recently just talked about this. I actually really enjoy it. And as someone who is deep into how the collab feature works and has been promoting it ever since I've ever started using it, it was very accurate. And we're going to actually double down on some of the things you said because of more information that came in since that video went live, which was only a couple days ago. So if you're on the India channel, you'll note, again, you're going to see this video. If you're on the main VidIQ channel, you're seeing this video. And if you're on obviously the podcast channel, you're seeing this. And the way the collab feature works is it puts the video, at least first, in the subscription feed of the other channel. So this video is being primarily posted on the podcast channel, but it's also being shown to the subscriber feed for India and the main channel. What happens after that is kind of where the magic is. And that's what I want to talk about today. Again, I've promoted and talked about this feature a lot, but I just can't talk about it enough because it's the one feature YouTube has finally come out with that actually works in the way that they say. Rob, you said in your video that one of the things in the help feature was, or in the help section, was that it actually does algorithmically change some things versus just whatever the other things that they've ever come out with did.
Yeah, I think it does, because it essentially, and I think the best way I represented it visually was like you have a video and you have your sphere of discovery for a channel. Let's say it's on a podcast channel, it's about 4,000 subscribers and other people who watch content, right? But then when you add a collaborator, it's essentially not adding their entire sphere of influence. We don't know how often it appears in suggestive videos and the homepage and whatnot, but you can clearly see from the analytics how many people are seeing it in subscription feeds, which is kind of a revelation for me, that how many people are using the subscription feed and are actually watching content from it. Like, it exponentially improves reach. And like, the best thing that we could prove is, yeah, okay, we can share it between ourselves. Like, we can share a content between the podcast, the tutorial channel, the India channel, but everybody in that area is probably already aware of us and maybe other channels. But Travis, when you're collaborating with SPEEED and remind me, what's the homeless channels called?
Nomad Push, which we'll talk
Nomad
about. Those,
Push.
yeah.
They're entirely new viewers who, like, I don't want to say that they're being forced the content onto them, but that it's relevant because they're being interviewed by you, Travis. That is just almost like an algorithm key that's been unlocked or switched that just gives you so much more opportunity. Having said that, you need to work with the content that makes it relevant to that new audience. Like, you can't just collaborate for the sake of collaborating. It's still, the discovery is still determined by the audience. They may see the thumbnail, but they've got to click on it because it interests them, because it's been recommended to them by the collaboration tool.
And it's important to note that the VidIQ India channel was benefited of this, but we have always had a large Indian audience. It's just that we were never really speaking directly to them, and now we can with this channel. So Prags, talk to us about some of the community you've seen come over since we've launched that channel with the collab feature. So it's basically like, hey, everyone, now we have an Indian channel. If you're an Indian viewer, you might be interested. And all of a sudden, boom, now we've been able to laser focus. And that channel is pretty much blown up right off the bat, which is great.
Yeah, I want to talk about this. Okay, so initially when I was starting up, I was really nervous about, I'm going to get just 200 views. And that was like freaking me out. But I was like, this is how YouTubers do. Like, that's how you start. But then after this feature, I kind of collaborated with the main channel, and oh my god, the views, it still has, I think, 4K views, and that just boosted my confidence that I can do it. And yeah, it kind of brought communities, the Indian community who are a user of VidIQ. They were like really excited that VidIQ India is finally here. And I think the comments made it very, very clear that we have a lot of people from India using VidIQ, and now they're just super excited about the India channel. And that's it's going to be in a native language, so it's more clear to them that what are the features and how it can be helpful for them in their YouTube growth. Yeah.
Now,
can I just confirm with you, Prag? So, like, the first video that you published with the help of the collaboration from VidIQ got just over 4,000 views, which is nice. The second video, has that been collaborated with the main channel or not?
No.
So this is where things get interesting, because the second video has 2,700 views.
Wow.
Yes.
And so that is standing on its own 2 feet. Like, we've given it a launch pad, but now the audience has naturally gravitated onto the channel. And the next video they've seen, Prags on the thumbnail, why you should start a YouTube channel even if nobody's watching, which hopefully relates to the audience that they're speaking to. They thought, yeah, I'm going to click on that because I enjoyed the first video and this new video is relevant to me. But the VidIQ subscription feed on the main channel is not supporting that anymore. So, like, it's kind of, it's almost like, the collaboration tool's done its job. Let this bird fly, this channel. It has the wings now. And of course, Prags leading that is doing a fantastic job, because I think wasn't your mission to get 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2025?
Yeah.
And you're already at 811 with,
oh my gosh,
50 days left, 40 days left.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yes, I'm super excited, and I'm super happy that I thought that I would be at 200 subscribers hardly in the first month, and I think the collaboration feature really helped to boost that up for me. So I'm really happy about that.
Yeah, and as Rob said, like once it kind of, you're almost like laser focus the right audience right off the
Mhm.
bat, which is what happened there. So people who
Yeah.
were VidIQ India followers, a lot of them were watching the main VidIQ channel, but obviously didn't know about VidIQ India, and they're like, "Whoa, this is what I actually want." And then YouTube can go, "Oh, okay, well, I actually know other viewers like this. Let me laser focus those people in." And then the
Yeah.
next video came out, and boom, now you're standing on your own 2 feet. Let's
Yeah.
take a look at what the last 2 videos on this podcast channel has done. Now, I went into this kind of,
Well, yeah.
I kind of
In other
knew what
words,
was.
welcome to Travis Flexes.
I'm about to flex hard.
Pew, 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 pew. He's
Yeah,
flexing
I'm about
his
to flex real
dirty
hard.
guns. Pew.
Now
Let's
the thing
go.
is, I had an idea of what was going to happen here, but I think even my idea of what was going to happen was I was right exponentially. I hate to say it like that, but I
You
was
were
right
right
because I'm
exponentially.
smart. So let's start with the
Let's
speed
get
video.
on a
So
t-shirt, shall we? I was right exponentially.
exponentially. That's a new phrase here. I'm going to share my
And
screen.
on the
So
back
this
it
is going to
says what statistically... I can
insignificant.
never remember which way around it goes. Travis, help us out.
That is statistically insignificant.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. So I'm gonna, if you're watching on YouTube, this is gonna be helpful. If you're listening to the audio podcast, maybe in your car, you're definitely gonna want to rewind to this part and watch it on YouTube. So I'm gonna share the statistics from the first one. So the first collab that we did with clients of mine, Speed. So Speed is a couple of people who were on the Donut Media channel. Donut Media is like 8 million subscribers. Speed is now at like 1.8 million subscribers. I've known these guys for years. I've been like coaching them and everything for years. And I was like, hey, you guys should just come on the podcast. Now, Speed does like men's lifestyle type content. And I knew just from, him having such a large audience and, like a video that fails for them gets 400,000 views. Like that's a stinker for them. So I kind of knew just by just by numbers that this was going to be a good video for us regardless. Again, it's different subject matter, so it's not going to appeal to everyone. It is an interview of the main host and his production team, but it's not like, and the audience that watches it is more into the subjects that they talk about rather than the host specifically, although they love the way the host gives the information. So here's some of the statistics from that video. So the total views on this is 18,000, and that is at the time of producing, that's like the most listened to podcast in this podcast history, and not just the YouTube channel, but like audio, because there's audio, you have to audio listens to it as well. But when you look at like where the traffic came from, almost 80% came from the subscriptions feed, which is what we talked
incredible.
about.
That
Right?
number is insane.
That's insane, and that's obviously from their subscription feed. It's not from ours.
Yeah, and this is what proves the point. You've got 14,000 views from a subscription feed. The podcast channel has 4,000 subscribers.
Right.
So it's
Right.
statistically impossible for this channel from that feed, from that source, to create this many views. That's the collaboration tool in a nutshell.
Yes, and then everything else is the recommendation and stuff. Now, what I want to put out here is that, again, going into this, I knew that this would be what we're looking at now, which is a lot of people from their subscription fee will watch it, and it's kind of a one and done thing. They, they're really interested in the host, but they're more interested in the subject matter. And the viewership of that so this was more of a like, let's talk to a big YouTuber, get some really cool content from them, but it's going to be a one and done. Probably not going to help the channel overall. I've been talking about for even a week before the post came out, the next collab came out, about this channel that I started watching called Nomad Push, about this YouTuber who's homeless in Japan and does a YouTube channel. Now, to me, that is interesting. And his channel is about him and his journey. It's basically a vlog. The difference between that channel and Speed is like, they'll do like the history of like Levi's jeans and stuff. So it's like this big subject. His channel, despite being like a fourth of the size of it, like he has like 300,000 subscribers, and like I said, the previous channel is 1.8 million. His viewership is ravenous. He gets like 100,000 views per video, which is crazy for a channel that has like 300,000 subscribers. That's crazy. But they're there for him specifically. So an interview with him is definitely more sticky and more interesting to that viewership than an interview with the host of something you might be watching about the subject. So here's what these analytics look like, and they're quite different. And I love this. This video in a week less time has 21,000 views. So it has more views than the other channel, despite the fact that it's a much larger channel. And if we look, we can see why. Recommendations are now 70%,
Ooh, wow.
not subscriber feed. Subscription feed is 13%. So what happened was, this is what I was hoping would happen. It starts at the subscription feed. So it goes over to his subscription feed. People interact with it very highly. They watch it, they engage with it, they like it. YouTube immediately goes, I know that viewership. Let's get out of the subscription feed. Let's just go to the homepage. Let's just recommend it to the up next in the home feed, which is where the juice comes from. And as you can see here, almost 14,000 views came from YouTube recommendations, not the subscription feed. And this is where you start to see the algorithmic juice behind this feature, which excites me to no end. And while some of the people in some of the comments have said, oh, well, you need to have a big channel. No, this can happen at any size. Even if you have two smaller creators, your channel, if done correctly, if you go into the right collab correctly, can use the algorithm to help grow that channel and the views. And by the way, 188 subscribers just from this video, which is wild, from one video.
Wow.
What about the AVD, Travis? I see.
So the view duration is still pretty good. It's 12 minutes, which is a little bit more than normal. So it's good because
it's above average. Like,
yeah,
you're bringing in a new, like potentially a newer audience,
right?
And they're engaging more than quote unquote the core audience of a podcast. Which is
but because, and I just want you to, I can't focus on this enough. It's because of the type of content that he does that aligns directly with the content I'm doing. It's an interview with him. When you watch his channel, the only reason you're watching his channel is for him. So it makes sense and it connects deeper with that audience. And I'll tell you right now, his audience, like the comments are so wholesome and so amazing. It's such a cool group of people to come watch it. Although I can tell some people are a little confused. I think they think this is on his channel. Because like, I love you. And I'm like, you don't know me, but you can love me if you want. So I, again, it really, really, really means that if you think about this ahead of time and really use it with the right content and the right channel, it's game changing.
I've got a couple of questions here, Travis. Given that there's been success for the podcast channel, and it feels like the audience has gravitated over, enjoyed the content, do you think it would be worth then reaching out to Nomad Push and saying, hey, this podcast did really well. Would you be interested in maybe taking a bit of it or a clip of it and putting it into one of your videos on the channel?
On his channel?
Do you think there's potential there, like to take this collaboration further, or is that too much of an ask? Too much?
Well,
trying to prime.
So I was actually kind of surprised he didn't record it because he does in real life stuff. So I was kind of surprised he didn't record himself recording, right? But I think it's because of how we did it. At this point, it's his vlogs are like in kind of, well, they're real time, but they're not. They're being recorded all the time. So that time has passed, but he shared it in the community tab. Never asked him. I told him that we're going to do a video on the main channel. So what I could do is say, hey, when we post that, would you mind recording yourself watching it? And if you want to, if it makes sense to put in your vlog, that'd be cool, but you don't have to. That would be of interest because we're going to do a video about him on the main channel, which I'm super excited about because he's such a cool creator. By the way, if you didn't hear that podcast, go back and check it out. Nomad Push is such an amazing channel. The guy is still homeless, but crushing it on YouTube. And he's one of the only YouTube creators, Rob, that I've actually bought merch from.
Wow.
I never buy merch, but he's such a cool creator. I'm like, I got to buy that merch.
The second question is, does it now raise a dilemma for the podcast channel? Like, what do you do next? Are you now locked into interviewing large channels and creating a collab out of it? I mean, I guess the answer is half no, because you're talking to pleb Rob here rather than the YouTube royalty. But yeah, like, does it bring any concerns for you?
It's a great question. I'm glad you asked it because it's something I have been thinking about the last couple of days. And that is that, we always tell you have to double down on things if you want the momentum to go. There's no way in heck that, and as much as I love all three of us, that we're getting 20,000 views on this podcast. It's not happening.
Yeah,
right?
I quit.
Rob is gone, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it seems unlikely. How about that? Let's say it seems unlikely.
Promised more views.
So it's a good question, and to a certain degree, the answer is kind of yes. Like, and I don't mind doing it if I find the right channels to talk to. I'm going to. It makes I mean, you look at like Colin and Samir; they do similar things. But the heart of this channel and the heart of this podcast is to help YouTube content creators grow. So it's not just talking to YouTube content creators. One of the things that I made sure in both of those interviews is that you could take something away from it. And Robin had a lot of really cool things to say about how he grew his channel, the things, because he was on YouTube for 6 years before anything really happened for him. Like he failed, like he says himself, he failed with his first YouTube channel. So, you know, I believe if you watch that, even if you're not there for the entertainment, you're going to learn something as a YouTube content creator. So I have to just make sure that when I find these content creators, that there's still something for our audience to learn from it. So yeah, I think I do kind of have to do more of it, which I'm fine with, but we're going to do stuff like this all the time, like we're doing right now. We're going to answer questions.
Third and final question, and I realize I'm taking up a lot of air.
No, we got this is the podcast.
You've kind of already addressed this, but isn't there an element of just big channels benefiting from this tool? It's something that only the privileged can make use of because we already have audiences. I've seen in the comments of the video that I made, people saying, yeah, but what if I don't have any audience? Like, I'm not getting any impressions now, so why am I going to get any impressions if I collaborate with somebody who has 10 subscribers? And that's a fair question. And, you know, I'm kind of like, it's fair. I'm not sure how to answer that. Maybe we're just saying, yeah, big channels, more power to us.
Well, here's the thing. When I was first starting out, I collabed with channels that were my size. And without a feature like this, it helped. Like when I had 500 subscribers, I was collabing with other 400 and 500 subscriber channels, and I was getting like 1,000, 2,000 views when we collabed without this feature. If we had this feature, it would have been amazing. What was that?
What was that?
What was that? What was that? Did something just happen? What happened?
Yeah, I think it was the string of my mic.
Oh.
It did sound like
I am new to this, guys. Please.
It
by the way,
you know, when there's like a tense horror movie and like you have that single thing, like,
that's what I thought it was.
Again.
That's awesome. So here's the thing. A couple of weeks ago, we had Tori on for the first time. She'd never been on a podcast ever. This is Prags' first podcast of any type. So that's another cool thing that's happening. What was the question? I forget now.
Can I just hang on? Pause this podcast for a second.
What's my experience?
Travis is multitasking here. Right?
I'm always multitasking,
and he's sharing the channel stats in our internal Slack. Like, ooh, look at how well I'm doing. Come on.
It's time to flex, man. It's time to flex.
Jeez.
All right. Well, let's start helping YouTube content creators, because we are here patting ourselves on the back. But to your question, I think it was what about smaller content creators? Again, when I first started out, and I didn't have any kind of backing, I just found the people in my niche. We collabed together without this feature. If we had this feature back then, it would have been even better. And the reality is, I reject a lot of these excuses because I had to do it myself. In my first year on YouTube, I collabed with a channel with 2 million subscribers. If I can do it, you can do it. It's not a matter of like, oh, woe is me. If you want to woe is me, you're going to be where you are. Like, that's never going to change. You've got to push forward. Robin is homeless, and he's got a successful YouTube channel. This guy doesn't have a home. So you have no excuse. Zero. I don't want to hear it. I really don't.
You know, YouTube already has a woe is me feature, and it's called the hype button. I'm joking.
Oh my gosh.
I have no idea if that's good or bad.
It's not, the hype button is just, don't even worry about it. All right, look. If you're new here, we tend to try to eventually help you grow your YouTube channels. And one of the ways we do that is by answering your questions. You can do that in 2 different ways. If you're listening to the audio only podcast, in the show notes, there's a link to send us a text message. And this first text message comes to us and it says, hey, I just wanted to send a huge thank you for reading my text on the recent Tube Talk episode. What actually decides your YouTube growth? Hearing my name pop up on the show honestly made my whole week. I've been following VidIQ for years and been tuning into the podcast with Travis since it launched. I've learned so much from you guys. I can't thank you enough for all the insight that you share. It's just tough juggling everything between content creation, caring for 70+ reptiles and amphibians, working a full-time job, going to college, tackling house repairs, renovations, and still being present for our wife and 2 girls. But I'm trying. So if you have any advice how to juggle all this, I'd love to hear it. So this is about juggling real life and YouTube content creation, which I think all of us to some degree can talk about. Prags, you are currently in the middle of traveling through India, which is wild, right? So you're not even at home. So tell us how you are juggling those things and traveling.
Of course. So I would like to start from the very beginning. I started as a travel content creator. Back then, I used to love traveling, and I also was really passionate about making videos. So I started creating these travel content, and I kind of just lost myself in that process because I loved traveling and then I also loved making videos. But then doing it together was such a tough job. And I was like, okay, I have to give up one thing. And then I continued traveling and stopped making videos. So I just have one video of my travel on YouTube, on my personal YouTube page. So yeah, it was so bad that I had to leave one thing. So I understand the pain. Uh, Talking about traveling right now and then creating videos, I think I'm able to do it because it's my job. And yeah, I think if I was supposed to do it for my own self, I wouldn't have done it for my own channel. But because it's my job and I'm doing this for VidIQ India as my job, that's the reason I'm doing it. Basically, pressurizing myself to go ahead and also following something that I love, which is travel.
Rob, before you started at vidIQ, you had a channel and it did pretty well. So how did you, juggle all of these things?
I think I resonated a lot with what Prags mentioned there, in that there comes a point where you have to make a decision about what's more important to you, especially when you're combining a passion and this newfound love of creativity and making content. And I was able to juggle my own channel, vidIQ, and full time for a while, but when it became more serious and when it got to a point that my own channel could help me with like disposable income, buying more games or like or leisure activities versus the vidIQ stuff, which could pay my rent and allow me to go full time, priorities kind of kicked in a little bit. Fortunately, it was making YouTube content about YouTube education, inspiring people, and I love that just as much as tech. Well, maybe I'm not sure if I love it as much 10 years later. It got me now in a existential crisis for 5 seconds. Just bear me 1 second. Yeah, okay, I'm going to carry on doing YouTube education for now. But yeah, there comes a time when you have to make choices. And going back to that person's comment, I think what they have to look at here is making these tiny sacrifices. And what I mean by that is, if you spend an hour watching television in the evening when the kids have gone to bed and you've fed all of your reptiles, maybe you have to make that sacrifice to do the YouTube content, or wake up an hour earlier in the morning to just spend a little bit more time writing a script, or whatever things that you need to do creatively. And like, somebody's I can't quote anyone who said this, but people will say, if you really want something, you really desire it and yearn for it, you will make time, you will find the time. And if you don't, then it's just not that important, and that's completely fine. You just have to accept that. I mean, my advice is really just set up a channel where you just live stream feeding your 70+ reptiles every single morning. Yeah. I think that would be fascinating.
Yeah, you're not wrong. My journey was interesting because I worked at a corporate job for years, like by the time I started my YouTube channel, and I was very much under the crunch that he was talking about, because it took me anywhere between, depending on traffic, 45 minutes to an hour to get to work, and leaving downtown Seattle to get back home. If there was a baseball game or something, I mean, there were times it took me 2 hours to get home. So I would leave the house. It would a lot of times be dark. I would get home, it would be dark. And in that time, I still wanted to make YouTube videos. So I would go to work all day, come home. And by the way, during lunch break, watch YouTube videos about how to make a YouTube channel. So I was taking
every single Travis?
I was mostly Roberto Blake. So I did watch some VidIQ stuff, but it was mostly like Roberto Blake and Nick Nimitz. Yeah, you can leave now. And then I'd come home, I'd make content.
I've left the podcast 3 times.
Then I would come home, I would obsessively watch more live streams, stuff about how to make YouTube content. I would make the content, and then I would, go to work. And a lot of times, I'll be perfectly honest, I called in sick a couple times to work to do content. I really wanted it. I was taking a corporate job where I was making a lot of money, even more than I make now. And I was like, no, this other thing is what I want. And then when I was given the opportunity to come to VidIQ, which would also give me more opportunity to do more YouTube content, I was taking a huge pay cut. So it was a huge risk, a very huge risk for me. But I know it's something that I wanted to do. So I made a bunch of sacrifices. Now, I didn't have a wife and kids. I don't have a wife and kids. So that's maybe different for you. And that's another whole other part of your life that you have to like give yourself to. So I was without that. But I had a bunch of other stuff I had to do. I had a little dog, which I know might not sound like a lot, but it was a lot. I love that little guy. It was a lot. And then of course work, which was heavily stressful at a corporate job in downtown Seattle. So I understand. It's just the word is sacrifice. That's all there is to it. Sacrifice. You're going to have to get rid of some of the things you like to do, pretty much, for the thing you love, hopefully. Next message. This is also a text message, but they left their name at the end of it, so I know that their name is Kyle. Kyle says, hey, Travis, and any other guests, I would probably listen to your advice rather than his. Okay, look. The slander against me right off the bat is not going to be accepted.
Is that against the guest or you, Travis?
No, against me. It's
right.
against me. Against me. My long form is hardly getting any views. Well, that's because you slandered me. That's why. Getting hardly any views. But when I cut those down and put them into shorts, by the way, this message was a lot longer than this, but I kind of like paraphrase. Put them into shorts, they get thousands, or bring 1 or 2 extra people to the long form. Any advice on how to get people to watch my long form? My titles and thumbnails are getting much better, but still working it off my phone with CapCut. So essentially they are saying that their short form videos are getting views and the long form is not. By the way, welcome to YouTube, because that's a large portion of YouTube. Prags, what have you kind of noticed when it comes to like short form versus long form and the audience differences?
Interesting. I think I'll talk from an Indian audience perspective.
Yeah, please.
Yes. So I think by the way, the YouTube users, Indian YouTube users, is almost 500 million.
Yeah.
And most of the people who watch YouTube, I think they are short driven content. That's like the short driven content gets the more traffic and traction. So I think
that's where it
ahead,
originally launched, right? YouTube Shorts was first launched in India, from what I remember.
Yeah. So I think short drives a lot of traction. What I was saying, I think someone who is just starting up with YouTube, building a community through shorts or reels on Instagram is, I think that's the way I would go ahead if I was starting from zero. A short can bring you traction, and then you can drive or redirect that audience to watch your long form. Because personally in India, I feel like most of the audience are personality driven audience. So they love to watch personalities. And if you're just someone very new starting on YouTube, I don't know you, I probably wouldn't click your video to watch you. But if I have seen you on Instagram or on shorts, like discovered you there, then I might watch your long form as well. So I think starting up with short form content is the way to go ahead when you're just starting up and build that audience to watch your long form.
What do you think there, Rob? They're getting traction on short form, but not so much long form.
We were auditing a channel yesterday. I think Dan put this quite succinctly. YouTube Shorts is another platform in the same app. It kind of feels like
that's a good way to,
Wow.
Obviously, there are technical things you can do as a related videos link so that you can link the short directly to the long form. That can maybe bring in, single digit percentage point viewers to the long form. What I also find is that people are expecting viewers to go from 20, 30-second shorts to their 8 to 10 minute long forms And that is a big leap. There's just in terms of consumption, this isn't helpful for audio podcast viewers, but like somebody is quickly consuming content, swiping through one after the other, they're going to get crashed through maybe 100 videos in an hour. Long form, you're lucky to get through 5 or 6 videos in an hour. And some people just prefer that short form consumption, and they're never going to watch long form videos. So in order to try and mitigate that, you would almost make extended shorts. So the long form piece of content is like 1 minute 30 or 2 minutes versus the 20 or 30 second short. So it's the same style and it's very digestible to the view. But even then, that doesn't necessarily work. For me, in terms of like, what do you enjoy making content most? Is it long form or shorts? Dedicate more time to whichever that is, regardless of the views right now. Because if that's where you want to be in 2 or 3 years' time, thinking you can build an audience from shorts and then push them over to your long form content later down the line, that's going to lead to burnout. But if you love making shorts, I think there's going to be some incredible monetization opportunities coming along there as well. So like embrace it, really enjoy it, and don't sweat too much for long form, if that's what you're happy to accept.
Yeah, and we'll have John Scott, who is part of the VidIQ team, on a future episode. And I mean, he's made an entire business out of short form content. So it doesn't mean you have to go long form. And all this to say, and I've been saying this for a long time. Oh, go ahead, Rob.
It's a good point, because I always check back on John's channel and his shorts. Like, if he gets less than 1 million views on a short, that's a disappointment. Like, he is crushing it. He's got hundreds of millions of views on shorts. And we all know he's an incredible filmmaker, storyteller, etc., etc. But he has made long form content that is phenomenal, but it's just not getting the traction on his channel. Right. And it's a crime. It's a crime. It is not getting more views. But is that just how the channels are set up in that way? And that if you succeed,
and I believe it is. I believe it is. It's the viewer. It's what you said. It's like you got to think about the sensibilities of the viewer, like what they're into. If they're into short form content, they might not be into long form content, and vice versa. So, pick a lane, especially when you're first starting out, and drive into it. Really dig into it, and you'd be surprised where it can take you. John is now very successful. Like I said, we'll have him back on and talk to him more about it. So, all that to say, keep going at it. If you are having success with shorts, that's a good thing. Don't worry about the not success in longs. Let's double down on what is working for you. Final text message has a really. So it's a very vague question, so we're going to talk about why that is. Text message says, I just started, and I'm wondering if you had some advice. If you wanted to see my channel, it's Mystery Outdoors. Here's one of the cool things that we get here on VidIQ, which is there are a lot of people who listen to this podcast that have never even started their channel. Like, they haven't started yet, which I think is interesting. I love that.
Yeah.
And the question here is like, what kind of things can you tell me? Whenever you ask vague questions, I'm going to give you vague answers, and I'm going to do it right now. You ask like, how do I get bigger on YouTube? Make good content. There's your answer. It's not satisfying. It is the right answer though. If you want to ask a specific question, then we can give you a specific answer. I think that's super important. I think they're probably at a point where they don't even know the questions to ask, which is why you need to watch more of our content, because then you'll know what question to ask rather than help, which is not
I have
helpful.
something.
Yeah.
I have an answer to this question.
Go.
Hit that publish button.
Hey.
Yeah.
Love that.
That's
actually,
it.
I have a quick question for you now that I'm thinking about it, and it's slightly off topic. I was told of a concept specifically in India, and they named it hypersubscribe. Now, the concept was that people in India use the subscribe button differently than people in other places, and that is to say that they're you need to watch YouTube video to see what Rob just did. That they use it as much.
3D printed button for everybody.
Oh, hype and subscribe. There we go. I love that. You got to watch the YouTube channel for this. That, and tell me if you found this to be true, because if not, I'm going to go back to these people, because these people who told me this are people from YouTube. That people from India tend to use the subscribe button almost like a like button.
I think it's true. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
I think it's true. Yeah.
So tell me about that.
I think including me, like if I see someone on my feed, like I saw you're homeless, that thumbnail just got attracted and I just clicked on it, and then I went to Nomad Push channel, and I just subscribed to his channel.
That's
So
it, really?
yeah, yeah,
Interesting. See,
yeah.
so culturally, this is exactly what YouTube told me. They were like, we found that culturally in India, people will use it as a thumbs up, like that's great, like good stuff, even if they haven't necessarily watched your content, which I thought was really unusual. But you just literally explained how it worked. That's incredible. Wow.
Yes, and
That's cool.
I have to add something as well.
Please.
We love free stuff, and we have been embedded with this thought that, subscribe please, because that's free.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's in our head. So whenever we watch and something that we like, it's just like, okay,
So
subscribe.
your subscription feed
It's
probably
free.
looks crazy.
Yeah.
It's probably like 1 billion.
So what happens when you watch the second video and you're already subscribed? Is like, unsubscribe, subscribe.
No, then we push the like button.
Oh. You're like, we gotta press all the buttons. They're free.
Like buttons. It's a secondary. It's a secondary button. Yeah, but
so have we basically learned that if you really want to get a lot of subscribers, that you just need to make content for India, because you're much more likely to get a lot of subscribers? That's great. Because it's almost like a like button. That's cool. That's really like I said, sold this a couple years ago. Wasn't sure if it was true. You've just confirmed it. Now everyone else has learned along with me that this is a thing. That's really awesome. So if you're making content for India, you can maybe get your gold play button pretty easily. Just make some cool content. It's free. Remind people that it's free.
Having said that, Travis, I feel like, because as I mentioned, that India has the largest user base.
That's true.
So I think it's that reason as well, and not just like subscribing is a thing, but it's also because a lot of people are on the internet using YouTube. So it looks like that. It comes across like that. Yeah.
I guess that subscribe button ain't going nowhere then, as we were predicting, Travis. At some point.
It can't go anywhere now. It's too big.
I had just a couple of things to add to the question, the vague question about, you're kind of right in the sense that when you first start out, maybe you don't know what the right questions are. And it's similar to when people ask, like, what's a good click-through rate, or what's got a good audience view duration? And our cop-out answer is, it depends. Or the question is, how do I get more views? How do I get more subscribers? And the answer is, make more videos. And it's the same for this person. Like, let's get some reps in. Let's publish 20 videos just to learn how to make thumbnails, read scripts, improve your presence on camera. I guarantee you nothing beats experience, and you'll gain all of those things by just making content. And if nobody watches it, it doesn't matter, because the difference between YouTube and pretty much every other profession is that you learn in public. Like, for sports athletes, they do 20,000 hours of training and practicing before they're on the court and they're seen by an audience. But you're just making videos in your own little corner of YouTube, but YouTube is still going to share that out to one or two people. And that can be a bit nerve-wracking. So like, kind of get over that fear of just publishing stuff and failing. And by doing that, you'll learn some more nuanced questions, like, why it feels like my content is being shared out, but nobody's clicking on it. So what's wrong with my thumbnails? And then we can start to say, well, it's maybe because they're overcomplicated, or you're repeating the font or the text in the thumbnail and the title. And then you really get some great answers specific to your challenges to then start tackling them. But right now it is, I think all three of us agree, just have fun making YouTube content. You're in that period of creative innocence, and many of us yearn to be back there with the experience and knowledge that we have. To just do YouTube without pressure.
You're not wrong. Okay, if you want to send us an email, you don't want to send a text message, you can send it to theboost@vidiq.com. That's theboost@vidiq.com. And Jacob sent us an email. Hi there. I recently uploaded a video and it didn't even get 10 impressions. Ugh, that's brutal. I'm sitting at 137 subscribers, so at minimum, it's not even 10%. I was wondering why my videos aren't even being shown to subscribers, and whether or not it's the YouTube algorithm whether or not the YouTube algorithm changes what videos are shown if someone subscribed from a short versus subscribed from a long form. This is really interesting. Thank you for all you do, and I wish you all the best. Thank you, Jacob. This is an interesting question because he's actually being specific in his question, which I love, which is, if you're a short subscriber, are you being shown the long video? That's a really good question. And I don't know the answer to it, which is really interesting because I usually know the answers to these. Have you ever subscribed to a channel just for their shorts, and then being on your homepage been shown one of their longs? Either one of you?
The other way around. So MKBHD is a good example for me. Like, I watch all of his long form content, but occasionally shorts from him are presented to me as well.
But occasionally, not all of them.
Not all of them, yeah. Sometimes I have to go digging to find them as well.
And what did you say, Prags?
I think I've never subscribed to anyone watching shorts.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Like, the intent for me to watch long form, and if it's really useful, then I end up subscribing. But I've never really subscribed anyone through shorts. Yeah.
This is unsurprising in a way because, and I've said this for years, since the dawn of shorts, I've said from the beginning, it's disposable content in a way. In other words, and I'm not saying that to be disrespectful, but you're swiping through really, like, in 10 or 15 seconds. Like, you're not connecting with the creator. You're kind of watching content and going to the next thing. So to not subscribe on it actually makes a lot of sense. I think it takes probably a lot of views before you're like, you know what, this is actually really cool. I do want to subscribe on this. So that makes sense. So for Jacob, they're saying, they didn't get a lot of impressions. Welcome to YouTube. That's definitely, the cool thing about this channel is, like, we documented from day one what it was like. And when we first uploaded a couple of videos, we didn't get 10 impressions for like 4 days. Like, it took days before we got any impressions on this channel. So, and it was, of course, way before collab feature and everything. And we literally just were sitting on no impressions. So I can tell you that through experience, that's not abnormal. Although you have 100 subscribers, you probably should get a couple more. And by the way, it says it's not even 10% of the people. That's normal. If you look at the analytics and YouTube, it tells you like what the percentages of getting views or anything from a subscription feed. It's like anywhere between 0.5 and like 2%. So yeah, it's normal. And if your content is, quote, good, it'll eventually find an audience. One of my best performing videos ever, it was a video that was like a 10 of 10 for like 3 straight months. Like, it was the worst performing video I'd done for the month, and then it became like 1 million something view video. So don't give it all up. I mean, you never know. If those videos are good, they could find an audience.
Yeah, I think I would like to add, I think we forget that YouTube is a platform. It's like a slow burn. The growth looks like a slow burn. And yeah, I have almost 25K followers on Instagram, and on my YouTube channel, which has been there since 4 or 5 years, I just have 866 subscribers. So YouTube is completely different platform, and growing on YouTube is like a slow burn. So you have to have that patience and time. And when you're coming to this platform, please be ready that the growth looks slow. And this is how it's going to look like. You just have to keep at it, be consistent, create because you love creating.
We still have some other questions, but I'm actually going to save them for the next episode because I feel like we've gone over so much. This is a pretty rich episode and like content and information that we've given. So I'm going to actually stop it here as far as that goes. I do want to real quick talk about some of the other things that you mentioned, Rob, in that video about the collabs, where you listed some of the other features that were promoted by YouTube during the I think it was called Made
on YouTube.
Made on YouTube thing, and collabs and some other things and AI things were pronounced. Now that collabs have rolled out and they're actually successful, do you now look at some of those other features with a little bit more hope? Because previously when they would announce something, it's kind of like, yeah, this is just be another feature that I probably won't be using in 3 months. But now it's like, oh, they actually have a banger. Maybe some of these other things are good.
The thing that continues to intrigue me the most, but I think I'm going to be disappointed by it because I think I've misunderstood how it works, is the sponsored segments tool. And to briefly explain what that is, right now creators have to make, I guess what you call is burned in ads. So like the ad is in the video and 10 years down the line, that same ad is in the video. What if you could hot swap those ads to be seasonal or like for a new business opportunity or like a company that's still in business, et cetera, et cetera. what I'm worried about is that I don't think you as the creator can plug in your own ads. I'm wondering if it's YouTube selling sponsored segments to you. Like if it is allowing the creator to just hot swap their own ads, I think that it would be amazing freedom and control. But what's in it for YouTube if it's like that? If they're selling the ads, these specific ads to creators, then obviously they're going to take a bit of a cut. So that's the one that intrigues me the most. The one that I think is either going to be really useful or laughably terrible is the content detection tool, because I guarantee you, once we get it, I'm going to flood a random channel with Sora versions of me to see if the VidIQ channel detects those lookalikes. And if it doesn't, then it's not fit for purpose.
It's interesting. Yeah, I mean,
but if it works, it'd be like, oh wow, actually we're going to be protected from AI, which is comforting.
Yeah, I would hope so. So one of the things you mentioned there, I think is interesting is, first of all, that the ad thing could be potentially swapped in and out. This would open potentially the door for something that YouTube hasn't done, but I kind of feel like they need to do, which is allowing you to swap the video file, because Venmo already does this. There's no reason not to do this. Podcast platforms allow you to do this, and this has saved me a couple times. There was one time where at the end of a podcast episode, I don't know why this happened, but the recording went on for like an extra 30 seconds, and there wasn't anything bad said or anything, but it was just kind of like a wasted space. All I did is I went right to the platform. I just swapped the file, and even though it had already been published, the people who listened to it after that got the new file. There's no reason YouTube can't do this, and in a lot of ways, it should be done this way. Because how many times have you uploaded a video, it's been up for a while, you're like, oh crap, I made this mistake. And while you can remove things using the YouTube editor, A, it's clunky, and B, maybe you want to add a different thing rather than just removing something. You want to add something like, oh, this is actually wrong or whatever. The fact that they don't allow you to do this seems like they should do it. And I can see Rob is like wanting to tell me the reasons why you shouldn't. So go ahead.
I just think the expectation and understanding of YouTube, how YouTube works over 20 years plus and trillions of videos at this point, I don't know how the audience would react to that, in the sense of, hey, this video I watched last week has changed. I don't like that. And I feel as if as well, it could be open to incredible manipulation from, I mean, what would happen if like somebody was able to hack a channel, not actually change any of so not like remove everything and then put Elon Musk cryptocurrency hack videos, but actually just change, let's say Baby Shark, let's say they were hacked and the most viewed video on YouTube was suddenly Donald Trump selling NFTs for an hour. Like, how much damage could that do in that time?
I don't know, but there's, you could say the same thing about a lot of features. And I feel like at the end of the day, you're the content creator, so you need to be the arbiter of what happens. And right now what people are doing is, if there's too many mistakes, they remove the video, put another video back up with whatever corrections there are, and lose all the impressions from the first video. And it kind of just is bad for everybody.
I think the difference here is that YouTube has an incredible evergreen component to it, so that videos can still be watched from many, many years ago. And I think retaining that original piece of content is somewhat sacrosanct of how YouTube works. I don't know, people please argue and disagree with me in the comments. I just cannot see that ever happening.
What do you think, Prags?
I think I agree with Rob.
Okay.
I don't see that happening anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do it. I think they maybe should consider it. And you can have guardrails in place, like because YouTube knows like what how similar a video is, because you can't upload the same video twice on the same video channel without changing something to it. And it already knows that. So why can't you do something similar for like changes and stuff? But at the end of the day, I feel like it becomes a more hassle when you actually have to bring something down and then re-upload it, knowing you're not going to get the original impressions. And if it was a mistake in the video, the only thing you do is remove it. You can't correct. Like, there needs to be maybe better editing tools that are within YouTube directly. Okay, I could go along with that. But yeah, but let us know in the comments what you guys think. Now, if you're new here and you are watching through the podcast channel, you want to check out VidIQ India, you can click their name here. And of course, there'll be a link in the description. If you're listening to the audio podcast, links will be in the show notes. Same thing with Rob. Rob's doing amazing things. Here's the thing. I am going to ask Prag one more question because this is going to happen. She probably.
I've got.
Okay.
No,
let me go first.
You
because, and I don't think she's thinking of this, but it's definitely going to happen.
Wow.
What are you thinking? Are you excited to potentially be on the VidIQ main channel live stream?
Oh my God. Wow. I wasn't thinking this at all.
I know you weren't. That's why I brought it up. And can you imagine when she first meets Savage? That would be terrible.
Okay.
And is the star of memes of the week.
Yes.
I hate. Anyways, okay. You know, how it goes for me is like I'm never prepared for things, but I do it anyways.
Okay.
That's how I've been doing it since so long. Whether it was starting with IQ India channel, I was people who those are the people that don't know about this story. I reached out to Tony from VidIQ saying that, hey, I love what you guys do and I would love to do an internship in your company. Just throw me some work and I'll just do it. And that's how Tony introduced me to Joe. And Joe said that this is where we see you growing and taking India channel ahead. And I was like, I am not ready for this, but let me just do it anyways. Okay. So yeah, the first video got 4,000 views and I'm all set. And similarly for this podcast, I wasn't ready and I was freaking out since morning. I was having anxiety, like how I'm going to face these people who are so amazing with what they do. And I'm just newbie, Gen Z, knowing nothing about YouTube, growing a channel from zero. So yeah, I just do it anyways. So if I get an opportunity, why not? I'm in. Please.
I don't think it's an if. I think it's a win. What do you think, Rob?
Yeah, that attitude of this is scary. I'm going to do it anyway. I think that is YouTube summed up in a nutshell, and it's I guess a bit of a similar story to me. So that you reached out almost unsolicited to VidIQ, and now a few months later you're working here, and it was same for me. I just made a video about one of VidIQ's tools, sent out tweets, and within 24 hours. I was doing some freelance work, and the rest is scary history.
Not history. We love you, Rob. There's no one like you.
Shucks. So my question is, so I don't know if you realize this or not, Prags, but you've already got a bit of primal branding going on the channel. Like everybody, I think, knows me for my kind of slightly eccentric glasses. Again, for audio listeners, I'm now wearing them, even though they are prescription glasses and they no longer work, so I can't see anything right now. But Prags, you are holding a different object in every single video to act as your mic. And last time it was a fork. So what I want to know is, do you have a list of props that you're going to use going forward? And it's actually inspired me. I'm trying to think of what could I 3D print as a prop for my microphone. And I haven't thought of anything yet. Like maybe a miniature play button could be my mic, but I don't know. So what's the next prop for you?
For me, I have it beside me. This is my lipstick tube.
All right. Cool.
Nice.
Hi, everybody.
Exclusive.
No, on the podcast. No, I'm kidding. So I have a very low production for my videos. Like my whole production is really low. And that's how I think that's what I have the access to, you know, that what makes me unique. Like people who watch me, they're like, if she can do it with such a low cost production, then I can do it too. And that's my unique selling point that I am making.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Love that.
So,
Love that.
I think that is my thought behind this. Like if you don't have anything, you can still do it. And that's YouTube.
Absolutely. That's why it's YouTube. And that'll do it for us, Tube. I'm Travis. This has been Prags and Rob. If you want to check out any of the channels, of course, you can do so. You know how to do all the things. And if you like what you see here, feel free to subscribe. If you're listening to the audio podcast, you can leave us a 5-star review. Just do all the things because you know how we do this here. We will see y'all in the next one.